Hello everyone, Jack here from HyperCycle. I am with Dr. Robert Moir, Chief Science Officer from HyperCycle as well. We are live. Really excited to have you everyone. Robert, how is it going?
It's going great. Thanks, Jack. Great to be here. How's it going with you?
Great, great. Really excited to see this live. It's been a long working period for everyone. So to see this becoming a reality, it's really, really exciting.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of things to bring together, and I'm really excited to roll all this out.
Yeah, so as you know, Robert, we've just published the new documentation on how to use the new features that we just released. But today I wanted to record a tutorial video with you on how to, manage all the tools that are provided inside this new dApp. There are a lot of things to cover, and I believe this is a time to uh, help people, help everyone to get started on HyperCycle. It's easy. If you go on the HyperCycle app, everything is ready for you. You have to follow the guide, but let's take some time to cover everything and explain how things works and maybe Robert, if you have some comments to share, some insights to share with the community, feel free to interrupt me, and we'll cover this as well.
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay, so I wanted to start just by the basics, with the basics, going to the landing page because a few things have changed, if you have noticed. But first of all, we have a new terminology that I would like to start with. We have this new node factories terminology. So maybe you can share quick words on that, Robert. What does this mean, and why did it change?
Sure. Yeah. So this is exactly the same thing as what was previously called a hypershare. Um, Basically, we wanted to change the name to make it easier to understand what the core functionality of a hypershare was, which really is this fact that it gains various forms of reputation on the network, which increases its score. And when the score reaches two, it can unlock two nodes from where there was one. So we could think of this as the original node manufactures new additional nodes over time as the node score increases, and this process iterates through different levels or layers. So the metaphor of a node factory really illustrates this idea very clearly because you can understand that that's what its function is to do. So the R tokens and S tokens that we explained before are still, there in the background, allowing for shared ownership and management of your node factory, as well as the automated revenue distribution. So all of that functionality is still there. Nothing has changed. It's just now we have an easier way of talking about and understanding what it is and what it does.
Yes, okay. So yeah, I find it very, appealing. I understand the terminology as a way to, build my own mini factories of nodes. Um, so to me, it makes more sense to use this, and I'm glad we changed it. But I know that we also changed the hypercycle computational nodes for hypercycle network nodes. So why is that?
Yes. So originally, when we were thinking of how these nodes were running on the network, we thought of them producing or providing rather an AI computation service. So some kind of request comes in, it does some AI computation and sends a request out. And there's two reasons for the change. One is the computation may or may not actually be happening where the node is, because the node could provide a gateway to some other service and it's allowing you to pay for that other service. So it's not really doing computation. But the more important clarification is it's not actually HyperCycle that's doing the computation. It's whoever the node operator is running that on their own hardware, whether that's on premises or in the cloud, or yeah, some other kind of decentralized network of computation. Wherever the device is that it's happening on is owned and operated not by HyperCycle, by some other party. Really, the key part that HyperCycle is enabling is this network communication layer, allowing for AI to AI communication, peer to peer, and this lightweight payment system that we provide using Tota technology. So by changing from computation node to network node, it clarifies really what HyperCycle is providing, which is this network layer, allowing you to operate this AI to AI peer-to-peer communication network.
Yeah, okay, because this is exactly what this dApp encapsulates as well. I mean, you have all these, tiny elements that are part of HyperCycle's design, and they are all working together flawlessly on the dApp, allowing you to set up your node factories and be prepared for the moment that you will be willing to run a business on HyperCycle. So I like the fact that this dApp is the embodiment of our mission to create the network for AI to AI communication, and to have this in one single place is really a miracle to me, because you had to do a lot of work to make this a reality. So congrats to you.
I can't take the credit myself. It's the whole team and the developers, the engineering side have been working really, really hard on this. So it's their achievement, and they're to be congratulated for the results.
Yeah, congrats everyone. So just a quick reminder for everyone who's joining the HyperCycle adventure. So if you want to get started on HyperCycle and set up your node factories, you need basically three things. You will need a node license. You will need also some HYPC that you will have to convert to NFT pointer in order to marry your HYPC with your node licenses. And ultimately, you will need a hardware machine that will be responsible for not only registering your node's activity, but also computing the tasks that are requested by the requester on the network. So on the main page of the dApp, you will find all the cards that will lead you to get those assets to get started on the network. So if you need to acquire more HYPC, you can click on Exchange, and this will lead you to a node market where you have some OTC deals to acquire some HYPC. You can also acquire some licenses. If you need some licenses, you can also go to node market by clicking on this button. And if you need to convert your HYPC into the NFT, you will have to go to this dApp, swap dApp, and you will have to select at which level you want to convert your HYPC into the CHYPC, and then you're all set to get started with all the wizards that we have created for you, and in order to create your node factory. So if
Should
I go back,
maybe just
yes,
quickly clarify that the level of HYPC you need corresponds to the level of license that you've purchased.
exactly. Yes, and this is included in this short board that you have here in the FAQ. So whenever you have a certain level in your node license, you need to pair it with a certain amount of HYPC tokens. So for example, let's go to the license menu, and you can see here that I have some licenses listed on my wallet, which is connected to the Ethereum network. And you have many informations in the license menu. And the first one is the level of your license. So you can refer to the FAQ to know exactly how many HYPC you will need to pair. Then you have the total amount of nodes that your node factory that is tied to this level, if you create a node factory at this level, will eventually create after a certain number of series of unlocking events. And the final data that you have, and this one is important, especially for today, is a node license ID, because depending on what you plan on doing with the dApp today, you might have to choose between conserving different licenses at the same level, or maybe merging them together, because you don't expect to conduct many activities, different activities on separate node factories, and you just want to manage one node factories for starter. So uh, what you need to do in this case is you have to check on the level of your node licenses, and they have to match at the same level. And next, you have to verify that the node license ID is the same as the other license ID you want to merge with, uh, except that they only differ for one number, right? So, for example, if I want to merge this level 10 with this level 10, I can because I share the same root ID except the last number. So this will allow me to convert this level 10 node license and this level 10 node license to one level 11 node license by just clicking merge and refreshing the license page. So I'm saying this, Robert, because as we are inviting people to either migrate or create new node factories, we want people to save on Ethereum fees if they don't have to, do the process multiple times to have the same result in the end. So um, I just thought they should know that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. You want to create a node factory at the highest possible level you can. So I think depending on how much HYPC you have available, that you want to sort of max out on the HYPC or CHYPC you create from that, and then have a node license at the appropriate level.
Mhm.
Yeah,
There's always the option to cancel the node factory if you mistakenly created one node factory at a certain level and you want to switch, but this will again cost you a bit of fees. So if we can avoid this, just be mindful before starting uh, to know exactly at which level you want to create your node factory. Um, so next is the convert page, and this is where you can choose at which level you would like to operate as a marriage with your CHYPC and your node license. So let's say that if I have a node license level 10, and I want to create a node factory at this level, I will also need to convert some HYPC into a CHYPC NFT at the same level, which means that at this level, I will need 1024 HYPC tokens in order to create the CHYPC. And once I have the CHYPC at level 10, the node license at level 10, for example, then I can go to the creation wizard and create a new node factory. So this was just for the basics. We have all the documentation that were already released that explains this, but this is just a brief overview so you can understand how to get started. And the last menu, and maybe the most important one, and for this I'm going to change to this wallet. Um, so the node factory menu, this is one menu that has changed a lot. So if you are in the situation where you already created some node factories with a previous version of the dApp, they will be listed in this category of all node factories. And each time you either migrate from the previous version of your node factory to the new, or you create a new node factory with the creation wizard that we have here, they will be listed in my node factory category. So this part is important because we know a lot of you are in this precise category, and you will have to migrate from V1 to V2 before you can use all the new tools that were released in the new dApp, and also activate Tillering with the new HyperPG Tillering as a service. So maybe, Robert, what we can do now is to show people how to migrate from the V1 version to the V2 version, because I believe most of the community is in this situation.
right.
Okay, so let's now see how to migrate from the V1 version of your node factory to the V2 using what we call the migration wizard. And next, we will see how to activate Tillin with another wizard called the Tiller creation wizard. So to start that, what you need to do is go to the node factory menu, and you will see your old node factories listed under this category. So you just have to pick one. So I'm going to select this one. As you can see the CHYPC ID, license ID, a node factory number. You can also see that I own all the S tokens for this node factory, and I also own the R tokens. 70% of those, because 30% of those R tokens are already reserved for the hardware operator. Is that correct, Robert?
Yeah, I mean, technically, it's adaptable in terms of what address you can provide those to. So it's intended to be the node operator. It could be a different party,
Hmm.
depending on this on the configuration, and you can vary the percentage between, I think, 0 and 30%
Hmm.
of the R tokens to that other party.
Okay. And from what I understood, Robert, most of the procedure of migrating and creating a tiller, they involve the ownership of the S tokens, right? So uh, at some point, the contract needs to check that you are the sole owner of the S tokens in order to operate the changes, which are in this case migrating and then activating tiling. So if you are in this situation where you are not the sole owner of all the S tokens, we have shared a support page on the documentation. So feel free to reach out to us there. We have Raymond from the Hyper Squad overseeing this, so make sure to contact us. But for now, let's just migrate and simply click on the migrate button that you can see here. So um, this will lead you to the migration wizard. So I'm clicking here, and you have this step-by-step guide that will guide you through all the steps that you need to complete in order to have your V1 hypershare slash node factory migrated to the V2 node manager contract. So first step will be to check on your ownership of the S tokens, and then you will have to approve the transfer of your S tokens to the share manager contract. Since I have already done that, I don't need to do it again. Then you will need to increase the voting powers inside the contract so you can initiate the voting for the migration. So this step you need to validate with your wallet.
Yeah, so this involves transferring your S tokens temporarily into the contract, which is done as a security measure so people can't double vote, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Also, a short comment on this. Sometimes the wizard allows you to click on the next button, but the transaction hasn't passed completely, wasn't confirmed. So we advise you to wait for the complete confirmation of the transaction, otherwise they are going to be stuck and you will have to reject one. So just be patient and wait for the confirmation from your wallet. So once this has been temporarily transferred, you can ask the wizard to create the vote for the migration. You validate with your wallet. Once this is succeeded, you can now initiate the vote. All right, and the final step is to click on finish migration.
Yeah, so what the text is explaining here is that we've built a migration contract to help with this process of transferring from Share Manager V1 to Share Manager V2 to ensure that the transfer can happen safely and securely. So that's what this last step is doing. Is you've
Okay,
authorized the transfer to the migration contract, and then the finished migration is actually transferring it to Share Manager V2.
and what I like about this, Robert, is also that HyperCycle has no control over what I am doing with my assets, right? So it's a fully
Absolutely.
decentralized process. We don't have a say in what you do. So then I will be asked to go to the Node Factory manager. So I need to refresh the page. Sometimes this does that.
That's just because this is hosted on a alternative server right now. Yeah.
Okay. And now you see that the Node Factory's menu has changed again. So I don't see my old V1 Node Factory anymore. I'm seeing only two brand new V2 hypershares. So I
Yeah.
believe the one I just migrated was this one.
The
Um,
old Node Factories menu has disappeared now because
exactly.
you migrated them all.
All right. So next, when I enter the new node manager for this migrated node factory, I can see that I still have the same CHYPC license, operator address, and node factory IDs. Nothing that changed. I still have the S tokens, R tokens, and what's new basically is I have multiple voting propositions now that I can use with my S tokens, and there is also this update tiller which is tied to the HTS HyperPG, Tilling as a Service page, and this will allow to initiate tilling for this node factory right away without having to articulate with HyperPG directly. So what you will need to do now is just simply click on Update Tiller. So once you have arrived to this page, which is called the Tiller Creation Wizard, you will be asked to either select a tiller that you have already created or create a new tiller. And maybe here, Robert, we could explain a bit what a tiller actually is.
Sure. So we probably explained this before, but it's good to elaborate a bit more so that we're clear because tilling is this unique term to our ecosystem. So we've talked a lot about uptime tilling, which is the service that HDS currently provides, which is one of the factors involved in computing the score for your node, determining, once that reaches two, allows your node to manufacture another node, or where you have two from one. But there are two other factors that we'll be introducing over time. So compute tilling is there as a thing, but it's only available in very limited contexts right now. But as the system develops, we'll have that more and more available to people. And HTS is a service provided by HyperPG, will evolve into a system that provides essentially delegated compute tilling on your behalf, which means it will be a compute service that will be taking in some form of revenue, and the details of that will be worked out. But the nice aspect of how this will work right now is if you subscribe to HTS now, that subscription fee will just be covering uptime tilling costs. But as this evolves into compute tilling service, that you will then gain access to that. Um, so the pricing may adjust, but your service will be continuous, and you won't have to do any additional action in order to gain access to it.
Yes, okay, so I won't have to manage this by myself, so yeah, I
Right.
like the idea. Okay, so in my case, let's create a new tiller because I don't have one in this wallet. So this is where you will see the various propositions that HyperPG offers. Um, so there is both a subscription offer and also a bonus offer, right? So if I select, for example, this one, it means that I will subscribe for 12 months of stealing, but I will get 6 extra months of stealing as a bonus.
That's correct. Yeah. So in the form of a credit that you can use towards additional service. So
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
And the novelty also is that we need to pay in USDC on the Ethereum network. So for this, I shared a documentation, a quick tutorial on how to add, USDC on your MetaMask wallet. So it's rather simple. You go to Etherscan and you type USDC. Um, you go to the contract address of USDC, you copy paste, and then you open your wallet. I don't think we see my wallet. And in your token category, you will go to import tokens, copy paste the contracts for the USDC, and it will list your USDC into your wallet. So I have done that already. So what I can do now is just select the formula I want to subscribe to. Let's say I want to pay for this one. So I click pay. I select my offer. I click pay, and I need to validate the transaction of 60 USDC with my wallet. I say yes. All right. I'm just waiting a bit to have the confirmation. Yeah, okay. I click sign to authorize the creation of the tiller. So this one is just sending a message, so I don't have to pay anything. And next I need to click on create the tiller to actually uh, assign a tiller to my future node factory. And here you go, you can see I have this tiller number 2 that was already added for me. So what I need to do now is just click next. And here we go, we are in the process of initiating tilling. So same as before, you have to go through all the steps in order to request HTS to activate tilling for you.
Yeah, so maybe just to explain what just happened, what we were doing was creating a new basically a slot in HTS for your particular node factory. So you were depositing funds into the system managing HTS, and then creating that slot, and then assigning uh, your share to that slot. But to actually initiate tilling, you now need to go through the process of actually saying to your node factory, I actually want HTS to till my node factory on my behalf. So that whole authorization process is now what we're doing.
Mhm. Okay. And all of this is verifiable on the blockchain,
Yes. Yes.
which is cool. So I sign the message, and then I need to approve the manager contract to take my S tokens to initiate the vote. So now I need to create my voting power using my, well, not mine, they are temporarily inside the contract, but I can tell the contract to create the voting powers. So it's using the S tokens that were tied to my node factories that we just migrated. All right, and now it's time to create the voting. So each time I have to validate and authorize a transaction with my wallet. You don't see it on the screen, but each time I have to click on my wallet and approve. And then it's time to actually vote for setting up the node factory.
Yeah. So in the general case, where there are multiple parties with S tokens, they all need to agree to assign their node factory to some machine to do the tilling. So in this instance, you own all of the S tokens. So it's just you, but you still need to go through this voting mechanism, um, given the share being managed by the share manager V2.
Exactly. And I think most of the community is in this situation where they are the sole owners of the S tokens right now. So it shouldn't be problematic for them
Yeah,
to achieve this process.
good.
Last part is to add a message to HTS to say, hey, let's start. All right. And now I can go to the management page. So I can either click on this or go to my node factories and just select the one I just updated the tiller. If I want to make sure the process went through, I go to go down below to the voting history, and you can see that the change of the hardware operator address has been processed. All the S token owners have been voting in favor of this proposition. Well, I was the sole owner doing that, but and it says here is a message that were sent through HTS. So now we know that a machine is actually managing the tilling for this node. And that's all for this scenario. So pretty straightforward, nothing very complicated. And as you can see, you can manage this by yourself. You don't have to ask anyone for permission or whatnot. So pretty cool. And now let's see how to create a brand new node factory with some HYPC and some node licenses, and also how to activate Tillering right away using one single tool that we call the node creation wizard. So in preamble of this, I told you that you will need to own not only a node license, but also some HYPC that correspond to the amount of the level you want to create your node factory on. So let's say that I own some level 10 node licenses. I need to convert my HYPC into the CHYPC at the level 10. So I'm going to do this now. I need to approve the conversion first. I can set a maximum. Okay, let's do, yeah, okay.
Uh, just to point out that so you can do the conversion here, but the wizard is also set up to do the conversion for you,
Hmm.
as long as you have sufficient HYPC in the wallet that you're
Oh,
using.
you're right. Okay. As for this part, you don't have to manage this. This is internal to HYPC. This is a part where I'm taking care that, making sure that all the levels have enough CHYPC tokens for you to swap. So you don't have to interact with this. We take care of this. So now,
Yeah, the split in level piece you're talking about. Yeah.
so now I need to confirm the swap. Okay, and now as you can see, I have my CHYPC at level 10. Here's the ID. So we can get started in creating a new node using the node factory creation wizard. So you just click on it, you select first your license. So let's select, let's select this one. It's detecting that I have now a CHYPC at level 10, so that's good. Let's click next. And next we need to approve both the license, both the HYPC, and next marry the two. So I'm going to approve.
Yeah. So here, in order to create the node factory, you need to deposit your license and your CHYPC into the the contract. So that's what you're approving here, and then it can perform the marriage by creating the node factory.
Exactly. So I'm approving this HYPC now. Okay. Now it's time to get married again. All right. So we had this wizard. I mean, a simpler version of this one, Robert, but it stopped at the marriage completion, right? But now you have integrated all the steps to actually continue with initiating Tillering inside the same tool.
That's correct. Yeah. So the part that was coming soon in that initial version is now filled out to allow you to
Exactly.
integrate tilling after creating the node
So we used to stop there, basically. Well, not there, but there.
factory.
And this is a page where we are providing the solution to actually transfer some of the RNS tokens to some beneficiaries if you plan already on working with some people for this node factory. But
Yeah.
if that's not the case for you, you can just skip this step for now by clicking
In
this.
most cases, yeah, you won't be needing to distribute, but if you do,
Hmm,
and you don't want to do it right away, like you're going to be distributing to other parties, but you're not sure exactly on the amounts yet, there's no problem skipping this for now because you can always access that in the management
exactly.
page later.
So let's skip this. And now this is a novelty that we have added. So you can now deploy your node factory by starting Tillering with HTS. So you have the choice to either go to the node factory management page and click on update tiller like we showed you earlier, or you can just deploy with HTS right away by staying on this tool. So let's do that. And same as before. So yeah, so this is a little detail here, Robert, because
Yes.
it says that I have already a tiller that I created earlier, but uh, if I'm choosing this one for my new node factory, it means that it's going to disconnect from the previous node factory I assigned it to, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You would override your
Okay,
initial setup and use
okay,
this node factory instead in that slot that I was describing before. So if you want to till them both alongside, you need to create a new slot. So you need to
exactly.
create a new tiller.
Okay, so let's do that. Um, and I want to try this one this time. So yeah, let's pay $5 in USDC. So it's requesting my wallet to accept the transaction. All right, so same as before, I need to sign and then create a second tiller. Okay, it's loading. So yeah, I'm seeing now two tillers. So I remember this one is already tilling my previous node factory. So let's use this one. And next, just like we've seen before, we go through all the steps.
Yeah, so the menu, the drop down menu that you just used wasn't showing up on the video there, I think.
Oh,
But you'll
okay.
see if you go back, it you went from number two to number three. Number three was the one you just created, and that's the one you selected.
I'm just repeating the steps here.
Yeah, this is exactly the same as what we did
Mhm.
before.
Uh, just like that. So it was easy. I can go to my node factory. I can go, yeah, refresh the page. So this is the eighth one. And then if I want to check that my node is actually tilling, I have to check my voting history. And as you can see, a machine has been assigned to my node factory. All in favor voted, so my node is actually tilling. So, like we said, like we say in France, voila, everything works fine. So that wasn't really difficult, Robert. So congrats to the engineering department. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, you just have to follow the steps.
we'll pass that on.
Okay.
Um, just one thing to comment here is that so strictly speaking, the existence of this voting shown in the menu here at the end
Mhm.
doesn't with 100% confidence tell you that the tilling has actually been initiated.
Okay.
It's like almost certain, but there is one other step that that happens after setting this message, which is when you're sending the message to the tiller. That's the last step.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we want to show this in this video, but there is a way to check that it is indeed tilling, but that involves going to the HDS page. So it's up to you
Okay.
if you want to include that or not.
Maybe that's something we can show in another video because we need to cover how to configure your node on HTS
Sure,
if you
sure.
want to go further. So let's do that on another video.
Okay.
Um, but maybe that's something that is about to happen soon, right, Robert? Because we have a lot of things down the pipe, right? Uh, so I think, yeah, we are planning on, providing and delivering more tangible releases on a regular basis now because, well, we have reached a stage where everything is working smoothly now, so we can deliver more and more.
Yeah, and I think next week is probably a good time for us to go through HTS.
Okay.
Maybe the week after, but certainly in the next couple of weeks to show people how that works and uh, allow them to see more detail on what's happening with their node factory.
All right. Okay, cool. So, yeah, great job for providing all this. I love this tool, honestly. Um, it's pretty straightforward. So we encourage every one of you to just test it, share your feedback to the Telegram channel. There is always someone to answer and to relay your message to the tech department. Uh, it shouldn't be too complicated, so don't hesitate to test it. Wait for the good Ethereum fees condition whenever you engage with the dApp. We are still relying on this, so usually what I do here on my time zone is I do this on the weekend because it's cheaper this way. But apart from that, let's meet again for another video, and also don't forget to join us in the next X space that we will be hosting next Friday at 9 p.m. UTC. Bye.
Sounds good. Bye bye, everybody.